So for History Fair, I chose a topic of the religious conflict in Nigeria. I've been studying this for weeks and weeks now to finally lead up to the day of talking to my stepdad and interviewing him about it. He's lived in Nigeria for most of his life but just moved to the US about 4 or 5 months ago. So when I asked him about doing this project and doing this interview with him, he agreed and told one of the stories about him living there and what was like being in the center of that conflict. So this is all we got down. Hope you enjoy. How's you from?
Hey, Nisha, how you doing?
Good. So today I just want to ask you a couple questions about you living in Nigeria and your experience stuff while there's conflict going down there.
Okay.
So the first question I want to ask you is, explain what religious conflict is in your words.
Religious conflict. Religious conflict is like any other conflict that you have anywhere in the world, and it's usually when the major parties conflicting against each other are from two or more separate religions, and they always try to base the reasons for their differences on their religious beliefs. And for religious conflict in Nigeria, the major religions, I mean, Nigeria is a country with over 250 different ethnic groups, and that means 250 different languages and 250 different indigenous religions. But the colonialism and the pre-colonialism, which had the the caliphates, we had the caliphates, and we had the British Empire that came in with Christianity. The two major religions in Nigeria majorly are Christianity and Islam. And so if there were to be, or there is as it is to be a conflict of religions in Nigeria, it is mainly and usually between the Christians and the Muslims.
Okay. So the second question I want to ask you is, how's this conflict affecting you in your daily life in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, I was born and raised in Lagos, which is Africa's largest city, and it's a big city, skyscrapers and traffic and what you would imagine a big city to be, high technology and things like that. But at about I think the year 2002, I happened to be in Kaduna, which is which was actually where the first religious crisis in Nigeria ever happened. I happened to be there, and at the time, Nigeria was supposed to host the Miss World pageant at that year. This Day newspaper, an indigenous newspaper to Nigeria, published a statement because the Muslim community in Nigeria, the extreme Muslim community in Nigeria, were of the opinion that the pageant having the bikini part of the pageant, if you're conversant with the Miss World beauty pageant, they always have a bikini walk, and the extreme Islamic community was the opinion that that was immoral and that wasn't something that Nigeria should be hosting, and that wasn't that was a situation where that God would frown at looking at, or Allah would frown at looking at. And this day newspaper had published a statement saying that that it was an honor for Nigeria to be hosting Miss World, which it was, because there was a lot of publicity and a lot of people were supposed to be there. It was supposed to be a great day for Nigeria, to be able to host the Miss World pageant. However, he also wrote in that same article that if the Prophet Muhammad, who is the founder of Islam, was alive, he would have attended the Miss World pageant. They all just go in the streets and just start causing mayhem. And when that violence or outburst or protest starts, of course, the miscreants get involved. And from there, it just escalates into, an uncontrollable situation. And in the case of 2002, after that publication was made, the initial reaction from the extremists was to go burn down the This Day newspaper office in Kaduna, because they did have an office in Kaduna, and they went down there and burnt down the office in Kaduna, and I happened to be in Kaduna at that time, and I didn't really, I was there, but I didn't think it would escalate as much as it did. And after burning down the This Day newspaper, I guess they felt like, oh, we've burnt down this newspaper, let's go burn down something else, So from burning down the This Day newspaper, they went ahead and started burning down people's businesses. If they found out this business is owned by a Christian, they go down and burn it. And while they're burning it, people are trying to run for their lives, and they end up, killing people. So it continued going like that until, the Miss World pageant was moved to England. I was lucky to be with a friend, because I didn't live in Kaduna. I was with a friend whose father was a police chief, so I was pretty much in a very secure location, if I might add, the friend I was with is a Muslim, and I am a Christian, but my experience was not very pleasant, in the sense of the amount of destruction of lives and property that took place at that time. It wasn't a very pleasant experience, but it was a learning experience for me to be able to see firsthand what happens,
So,